you get lost in the plugins.
Oh man,
And
it's
then he said, maybe this one is good.
man, Lost in the
Next.
plugins. That's a nice title actually. Lost in the plugins. We lost
Yes.
ourselves in plugins. In my case, I have plugins, still buying other ones. I don't know why.
Afro House United.
Ciao, OSFUR. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, and you?
Welcome to Milan.
Nice to meet you.
And we're happy to have you in this new Afro House United format.
Yeah, thank
which
you
we
very
hopefully want to take forward and develop a bit more with Afro House and the whole Afro community and the artists.
Super.
How are you doing? All good?
All good, perfect.
How was
amazing
yesterday?
Day. It was amazing. It was amazing. The vibe was crazy.
For people that don't know, us for yesterday was at Vault, which they have a format every Thursday night, and it was really nice. So maybe some videos will come out and we'll start sharing them.
Yeah.
So it's about you, not about Vault. So what can you tell a bit more? Can you tell us a bit more about your background, your roots, where you come from?
Sure.
Just so we know who you are.
I've been doing music for a couple of years, 14 years now, and I come from a house root, I would say. And right now I'm just making music as it comes, with all the influences I have, either house or rap, and that's it.
Was music a part of your life growing up?
Yeah. I had the chance to have a family that was really deep into music, into house music. I had an older sister who used to listen to house music since a long time. So I've been listening to DJs like Denise Ferrer, Kerry Chandler since I'm 10, 11 years old. So I got this, this culture thanks to my sister, basically. So yeah.
And where did it come from? Do you know if?
I don't know. In Morocco at that time, people used to party a lot, and house music was spreading a lot. I think during around 2005, 2006, and I was around as well, floating.
We were speaking before, and you told me that you always had this dream as a kid to make it or produce and make music and share it with everyone. Can you tell us a bit more about how you got inspired to pursue this passion?
Yeah, actually it's crazy. It came same period. I went to see a DJ called Denise Ferrer when I was 13 or 14 years old, and I saw him play, and I felt that I wanted to do this exactly the same way he did it, and I kept this, this image as a goal, and I tried to keep it no matter what and work to get and achieve this dream. Music has been part of my life since then. I've been producing a lot without getting any results, but patience makes you continue. So it's thanks to Denise Ferrer. So if he ever listens to this, thank you, Denise Ferrer, for this set.
I think that's very inspiring for everyone to hear. I think you find a lot of people in the same situation, and consistency and just as we were saying before,
exactly.
Not really caring about the result, but enjoying the process can really help. I want to ask you, if you had to describe your genre, what would you define it as? I know it's a bit of a touchy subject. But I know you want to talk about genres, but for people that listen to Afro House, melodic house.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of categorizing people. It depends. I would not call myself into a specific genre, but I can describe the type of tracks I produce, which is, I think, more specific to me. I think in all my tracks I try to put tribal drums, interesting vocals, and also synthesizers. So that makes it a little bit a mixture of Afro, melodic, techno, house. That's, it sounds a little bit messy, but that's exactly how I see it. I don't want people to put me in this or this category. So it depends on the music I'm making in the moment. And right now, if you listen to the tracks I'm making, they are more into melodic house, Afro,
Yeah, I think we can definitely hear that, and I think in general the genre is evolving into that direction. I feel like from the demos I'm hearing and the clubs and the IDs that are coming out. So I think I'm excited to hear what you're gonna make and what you're gonna show us today, actually, because the format is about listening to some of your. Are you gonna show us a new ID?
I'm gonna show you an early stage project. Like it's super early stage, but it's cool to see how I start a project. Where do I start it? Because I don't have any science, but I do have some experience in production, so I know exactly where to go when I start, either from the bass or from the drums or for that. So on this one specifically, I went from the bass line. So that's the first thing it came out of my mind, and from that, I tried to to furnish all the environment.
you spoke about the process of how you start.
Yeah.
Are there other things or maybe some experiences which allowed you to start tracks in a specific way?
Yeah.
Are you drawn to like specific themes? Are there things you want to express in your music? Maybe you can talk a bit more about.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The deeper stuff.
Yeah. I used to start with the drums for many years. Like for me, drums. I mean, when I say drums, it's drums and bass that makes the groove. And I used to start with this many years, and I felt like sometimes it stopped me on putting a little bit more melodic stuff. So, if I want to be honest, I don't have any science now. So it depends on the mood. I have a specific process. I usually listen to music that can inspire me right before I produce. That's something I do. For instance, if I know that tonight I will produce at 6 p.m., from 4 to 6 p.m. I will listen to some music. It doesn't need to be house or I don't know, but it depends on the style I want to produce, and I will listen to this music for 2 hours, and then I will stop, and then I will start producing.
And that gives you the inspiration to start.
Yeah.
Maybe you hear something in like a bass line or a
Exactly.
specific groove, and you're like, oh, okay,
Exactly.
let me start on this.
Exactly.
And do you have themes in your music which you're trying to express, like some overarching theme which is maybe close to you?
I think for me, at least I try. I try to do I'm not saying deep house music, but I try to do deep music. Deep music is music that touches people. That's what I try to do. When you make music, it's sometimes you work in a stressful environment. Sometimes it's deep. Sometimes you're sad. So all the energy you have within you, when you produce, you put it in your productions. So the theme I want to put and highlight in my music, it's more or less making people dance. That's tribal stuff. So I want to put rhythm, make people dance. And also I have this house culture where I can put synthesizers, deep melodic stuff that makes people dream as well. So it's dreamy and dancey.
I don't think people are ready for this demo because you described it very well, but now they need to hear it.
Oh, you wanna hear it?
I think we should start. Maybe show us how like the first stem or the first thing you added on the track.
Of course.
So you said you started with the bass on this one, the bass line?
Yeah, exactly. So this one...
You got inspired from another track.
Yeah.
And you were like, okay.
Exactly. This one I got inspired by another track. And in the morning, I just woke up like maybe at 7 a.m. doing just the bass line, and I went back to sleep. And it's actually pretty simple. And it goes like this. That's it.
You can already hear the kick.
Yeah,
it's already written.
That's it.
So then you moved on to the drums, or you say, let me work on elements?
Yeah, exactly. No, once I did this, I went straight to the drums to see the groove of the track. So I went with stems like this. And you add a shaker to the groove. That's how I saw it.
So you added the kick.
Yeah.
You added some deeper elements.
Yeah.
How do you choose your samples? I mean, obviously experience, but
yeah,
you have in mind the specific kind of vibe you want to give, and then you.
Yeah, that's a really nice question. Actually, it's intuitive. I like, for instance, this bass line. When I saw the groove, tum 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 tum. So you can take this part and put it in the drums, pom 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 pom. And from this groove, I try to, furnish all the small details, the small hats, the small shaker, the small tom, and it went really naturally. It's basically natural. I don't know, maybe it's some experience, as you said, but depending on the bass line, that's the exact groove that came out of my mind. It's natural.
Okay, so after this, do you start working on the structure, or do you just decide to add until you're satisfied with the general groove and maybe melodic elements?
Once I did this, usually I keep it like maybe 16 loops, or I keep a small part, and I start adding texture. I don't do the arrangement. The arrangement is the last thing I do. I try to. It's like cooking as a recipe. You want to have all the ingredients before starting to cook. So I want to have all the ingredients, all the ingredients I see. On the track. And once I have them, I try to organize it. I see it and I try to organize it.
Do you do this because you're scared of losing the the creative process, and so you say,
Totally.
okay, let me stay in the
Totally.
in the
People need
groove,
to
in the
know.
moment.
Yeah, I
If not, I'll lose
totally.
it.
Yeah, man, I totally agree. Music production, in my case, sometimes is stressful. I put myself in a on a stress state, and you feel like you are having the right inspiration at the moment, so you just want to go with it. And having the inspiration of adding texture and the inspiration of doing arrangement is not the same thing. Arrangement is another work. It's on the, you see yourself in the future. And texture, you see yourself, you know, it's more vertical. You want to add texture layers, and then you want to see it in time. That's two different vibes.
I think, yeah, it's interesting that I think it's a good strategy, because oftentimes if you get lost in the structure or start branching out too soon,
Yeah.
you can get lost, and then you can maybe also even lose the vision for the track which you initially have.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah, I think so. I think it depends on the skill. My skill put me in this way of producing. I know people that go directly straight to the arrangement, and then once they have the, you know, the full track in a minimal state, they start to add, you know, texture and stuff. It's two different vibes. Mine is more as adding texture in the beginning.
Okay. So once you add the groove, the shakers, the toms, the drums, the
Yeah.
kick, and you have your bass line, I feel like that's the foundation for the track. Then
Totally.
you need, because you said you work more with melodic elements, you like adding synthesizers, analog synths, etc. How do you then decide, okay, I want to take it into that direction? You experiment with some sounds, with some different chords. Like, what's the process? Where does it take you next?
Yeah, I mean, the melodic side is really interesting, because you are working with VSTs and plugins, and in my case, I try out many ideas. That's actually the most tricky part. In the melodic part, you have to be ultra selective, but being selective takes time. So that's actually my most difficult part, I would say, because you know how many plugins sometimes we have, and you don't want to miss one, so you keep just like, you know, choosing every plugin. No, this one is shit, and it takes time. It's time consuming, and you have to keep focus, because if you lose focus, you start doing something else, or you start doing shitty things. Yeah. While like 30 minutes ago, you were doing groove, you know? So it's a tricky part, the melodic way.
I think you speak for a lot of people here when you say you get lost in the plugins.
Oh man, it's...
And then you said, oh, maybe this one is good.
Man.
It's not that good.
Lost in the plugins, that's a nice title actually. It's Lost in the plugins. We lost ourselves in plugins, and we want to have more plugins as if it was changing anything. In my case, I have plugins I didn't even finish. And I'm still buying other ones. I don't know why. You know,
and how do you break free from that? Do you get stuck in that loop sometimes?
I'm still stuck. I'll let you know if I'm out one day, but I'm still there. I'm
so
stuck.
Maybe we can hear the plugin you chose for the...
So this one is a bit tricky, because I sent it to my, you know, I have a collective called The Scripter with Uvita, who's basically one of the best producers, if not the best producer I know. And it happens that the best producer works with me, so I'm super grateful. And I sent him this part, and he added the strings. I don't think we will keep the strings. That's not something we will keep, or maybe we will keep it. I don't know yet. But the result is, for me, still crazy, even though we don't keep it. It goes like this. Do you want to hear a part?
No.
No.
Let's go.
I told you the Uvita. You guys need to check it. Check Uvita. He's just crazy.
We were speaking about Uvita before, and you were telling me about his talent. How did the scripture kind of begin?
Well,
maybe tell us a bit more about the collaboration between you two.
Yeah, sure. It's a bit funny. Actually, we used to talk to each other on Instagram. He sent me a track. I was amazed. I told him it's crazy. The track is called Makalu. It's out now. And I proposed him to do a track. We did it like in a couple of days. The track is, in my opinion, really good. It's called Creator. It's already out on Nervous Records. And when we did the track, in few days, we felt like the alchemy was super intuitive, supernatural. We jumped on another track. I proposed to him still. We jumped on another track, and we kept going like this during days, weeks, and we end up feeling that we maybe need to do much more than just doing a track. We need to create something bigger. That's where the scripture came. And since then, we've been working a lot every day. We think about visuals, we think about music, we think about artistic direction. And as I told you, he's just super, super skilled. It's impressive. He challenges me like every day. I love it, the way he produces. And I learn from him a lot. And that's exactly how it went. And
you feel like your styles and your skills complement each other
totally.
in terms of
totally.
production and how getting a full track ready?
Oh yeah, I mean, each one alone has its own skill, and he's super nice in his own skill, and he got this melodic stuff, he got his background on doing music theory, which basically I don't have. I'm more into tribal rhythm groove stuff, and when you mix both styles,
the magic happens.
The magic happens, and the funny thing is that we are our first listeners, we are our first fans, so I'm just enjoying what's happening right now. Even though we're not releasing all the tracks, every day I'm listening to the tracks we're doing, I'm fulfilled with like just crazy feelings. It's amazing.
I think that's a good indicator when you know you're enjoying your music.
Yeah.
First, you know it's the first and the best indicator, I think.
I totally
of how
agree.
a track will also perform maybe after. But let's get back on track. So you sent him the bass line.
Yeah.
He got back to you and incorporated some of the synths we've just heard.
Yeah, strings.
And then he sent it back to you and you worked on it some more?
From now, no, it's still an ongoing track right now. It's, as I told you, it's super early stage. I just want to show you how it went. You know, it seems simple, but actually it's a little bit complicated in terms of production. So he sent me back that part, and now it's in this state. I added some vocals just to see the groove, but super housey vocals.
Can we hear
That's
them?
why. You wanna hear the vocals?
Play the vocals.
That's my house background. You wanna show
tell
to
us
the
about
people
your
my
house
house background? Okay, so the vocal itself, on its own, it looks like this.
Girls, I'm telling you,
I cut it.
if you let him in one time,
I cut it.
bounce around at night.
So it looks like this a cappella, but if you want to hear it with the track, it goes like this.
Sick. I have some huge. I don't want to speak too much about this track, but big expectations.
It's not out yet. I don't know where it's going, but so you saw how we do this ping pong stuff. He basically live in Manchester, I live in Paris, but we produce like this. We send each other stamps, parts, and having someone who actually produces, you work with someone who produces and challenge you. It's one of the best blessings I've had maybe last year, and I'm super grateful with what's happening right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think it also helps you grow a lot as a producer, and also on collaborating with other people, you learn a lot.
Of course.
Also on giving space, on learning, on what you can do better. So
it's amazing. It's amazing. As I told you, when I produce, sometimes I put myself in this stress state, which is actually counterproductive. You don't produce when you're stressed. You just produce shit, you know. And having someone who can just see another side of the track that you don't see because you're on, you have, I don't know how you say in English, blinkers. You have, you're in the same
in the tunnel.
Tunnel, exactly. And he just came and he's like, no, look at this way, and this way is just, that's it. He just adds strings in this bass line, and everything got more, bigger and wide.
Yeah. Thanks for showing us the track. Super insightful and interesting. Can you maybe, to wrap it up, tell us a bit about your future plans?
Yeah.
Where you hope to take your project, and yeah, how you balance maybe DJing around and
Yeah. So for the personal project, we have actually a couple nice projects coming out from now to June. The first one is called Pieces. It's a track we've done and we release it on Unreleased. It's Arodes and Andrea Oliva label. It's out on March 7th, so it's in a few days.
so look out for that one.
Yeah, okay, I'll send it to you guys. And we have another one. We did a remix of Ryu, the DJ, a remix of his track, an original track. It's coming on April, mid-April, I'd say. And then we have an EP called Running on Fumes, who's out, which will be out on a Bedouin label, Human by Default, in May. And we will finish it in June with an EP for Mother Was in the House. So we have like 4 or 5 projects coming in a few months. And I hope that we'll keep producing as much as we can because that's what we want, that's what we like, being in the studio and producing.
Nice. I think you have some good plans.
Yeah.
And the schedule is already pretty
It's
filled,
full.
so that's important. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah. No, it's full.
I wanted to ask you maybe a last question. How do you balance playing around, DJing, and producing, and how does one help the other, maybe? How does it motivate you? How does it make you change the way maybe you see music production? And
I don't want to sound like I have to give advices. You know, I'm still learning as well.
obviously, yeah, from your experience.
But from my experience, I'd say obviously DJing is exhausting. So as I told you, when you produce, you have to be in a deep state if you want to produce something deep. If not, you will stay, in the surface. That's not what I think you want. DJing puts you in a state where you're exhausted, when you're tired, you're stressed, you're more stressed, you eat bad. So I think people need to have plans and goals in mind and also take the most out of it. DJing for me is getting inspired. For instance, yesterday I played with Sona. First time I see it. He played tracks I didn't play before, but somehow it inspired me, in some way. So that's the best thing to take out of DJing when you're producing, And also, the good part of what we're doing is that we can challenge and try our tracks super easily. We produce a track. Yesterday I tried maybe 7 or 8 tracks that we've done, and that's the best part, So I see it really in a professional way. We don't drink, we don't do anything. We come for the music. We have 2-3 hours set, and within these 2-3 hours set, we might have 10, 11 tracks that is ours. So it's more like, look who I am. So you will not see me wasted. You see me in a state where I need to present something I've been working on for hours, which represent years of work, So it's super symbolic. It has a symbol, and that's exactly how I see it. I see it as at the end of my set, it's as if I just showed a part of my life. Like, look, this is the result of years of production, and my back hurts. So please, you can...
Please listen and don't be on your phones the whole time.
Yeah, and the best result is seeing people dancing. Like yesterday, I had super nice feedbacks. People have been writing me messages. Super cool. That's exactly what we look for, and yeah, we're grateful.
I think that's a very healthy way of describing the DJ part of performing, and
I mean that's the original way.
Yeah,
that's the basic.
It got
way.
lost.
Yeah, I think it got lost. It's noble art. People need to realize that DJing is noble art. You don't need to act something else. And if you take out the most out of DJ, you're just like super satisfied.
Yeah, it's very healthy and also very respectful towards yourself first, I think.
Yeah.
Seeing it that way.
Of course.
Because you're there because of the work you put in and the hours and you're sharing
the
craft and the...
Oh yeah, you're totally right. It's
so
a matter of respect.
Yeah.
I respect myself seeing it that way. Because like working so many hours, so many years, and then just acting like foolish, no. Every time I come on time, every time I'm here to deliver, people wait for you. So that's also the tricky part when you're a producer. That's the stressy part. When people expect music from you, they're always on the expectation. So you feel a little bit of pressure. So this pressure is released when you play your track and people love it. So you get used to this release,
Yeah, super inspiring. Thank you, OSFUR, for all the wise words.
My pleasure.
I think it's you should be an example for all the young
Come on,
producers,
man.
for your longevity and your wisdom you shared with us.
We just did it in one shot, or am I dreaming?
We'll edit.
We have
We'll
another.
edit a bit after. Inshallah.
And the sugar shaker.
Thank you, brother.
My pleasure.